So we're taught that there's 4 tastes. We now know there's 5. And about 5 or so years ago, I started to seriously reconsider that it's only 5. But this is a conversation in the scientific community that's been going on a long time. There are way more than 5 tastes. As a matter of fact, it's known that there's even tens of thousands of smells, and it could be that there are dozens or hundreds or even thousands of different tastes.
Okay.
Now, to distinguish something as a unique separate taste, it has to be attributed to a specific set of compounds. It has to have specific receptors responsible, and then it has to go to our brain and be registered from the stimulation to the reception, and then we identify it. So it seems like there's 5 buckets of tastes, and some surprising things that have tastes that aren't supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so one of the things is amino acids. When you start doing umami research, you can't help but get mired into the world of amino acids. And I kept reading about amino acids that have taste. And we were talking a minute ago, it used to be that Amarones, there were a lot of red wines that were historically really, really sweet. They're technically pretty dry now, but they still have something that tastes sweet to them. And so one of the things that's very confusing about wine, the more you learn, the more confused you get, is you can have wines that are technically dry, meaning they don't have sugar, but they still taste sweet.
Right, exactly.
Here's why. Wet your finger. This is glycine.
Okay.
There are a whole bunch of amino acids found in wine that are sweet. But that's not a sweet like a sugar sweet. But it's definitely sweet. You give this to people, they say, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's like sherbet.
But it's not supposed to be sweet. It's not recognized. So you could have very high levels of amino acids in a wine. The analysis of the wine says it's technically dry, but people taste it and they go, this tastes sweet. Oh no, you're wrong, it's dry. But blah, 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 blah. Dry is probably the most confusing word in the wine industry.
Wow. So wine that might have 1 gram of residual sugar could still actually taste quite sweet.
Quite sweet.
If it's got the right amino acids in it.
That's correct. And then throw into it the physiological diversity of phenotypes, and high alcohol to the tolerant phenotype tastes sweet.
Right.
And it tastes bitter and horrible and burning to the hypersensitive. And so now you've got 2 people trying to explain how a wine tastes with absolutely no capacity to actually communicate what's going on, or understanding that one person's living in this sensory world and another, these or that. So as this all started to shift, again, my world crashing down, it's just what I do. I had a group of scientists come from Japan to share a breakthrough with me, and it was so funny because they were so secretive about this stuff. So just as there are things that are sweet that are not sugar, and stevia, my wife uses stevia. Some people use artificial sweeteners. Oh, this is a really great point to mention this. Your son and artificial sweeteners is going to be, oh my God, it's horrible, bitter, metallic, ugh.
Okay.
And that's because he does not taste those as sweet. He gets a whole different sensory experience. So that started, okay, so wait a minute. So sugar is sweet to some people, to most. That's pretty. But there are sweet things that are sweet to some and bitter and metallic to others, or overly sweet to a third group. Are they the same taste? So is stevia sweetness, a whole different set of compounds, taste receptors, and pathways, sweet, identically to sucrose or glucose or fructose? And the answer is no, they're not. They're different tastes.
Okay, within the sweet category.
Within the sweet. So you can have a stevia sweet, you can have an amino acid sweet, you can have an artificial sweet, and conversely then we thought, oh God, now what? Sodium chloride, salt. All right, we're going to put some here. This is just plain table salt. Taste your wine. promotes bitter and astringent. Try a little table salt. Try it again. And you don't get quite the effect with the combination of acidity, but it softens. Most wine books, by the way, tell you the opposite. They say salt increases the bitterness and astringency. Totally back-assed.
Yeah.
Now, this is potassium chloride, not sodium chloride.
Okay.
So it's not the same compound. It's different receptors, and it doesn't have the bitter suppressive qualities. It's a different taste. Touch your tongue. So you'll agree it's salty, but it's a different type of salty.
Yeah.
Many people get a horribly bitter thing, many people don't. And try your wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the conundrum. If at any point a physician says your son has to watch his salt, and actually get really good counsel about this because there's so much medical, contradiction and dissonance. Your son probably needs more salt, and his hyperactivity, his electrolyte levels, but make sure to check this out with a physician and get good counsel. People then who are hypersensitive, who really are the ones who crave the salt, get an option. Somebody says, oh, we could help you by replacing your sugar with artificial sugar, but the people who most need that benefit, it tastes horrible, bitter, and metallic. And conversely, if the recommendation, try potassium chloride to lower your sodium content for hypertension or blood pressure or heart disease, then the alternative is it's not sodium, and it may taste horribly bitter and metallic and terrible. So it's not really going to solve the problem. It's just more punishment for the kids who have been